Good morning, guys. Okay, so today's video, I have a workout scheduled for today. Not scheduled, I don't know why I said that. I can do it whenever I want, but I feel like doing it right now. So today we're gonna be doing push workouts. A nice and heavy, relatively heavy push workout. But in the meantime, it's the morning and this is like a little pre-morning ritual. I kinda just get ready. I'm having my pre-workout. This is my pre by my protein, so gonna get that in. I usually do it about 10 or 15 minutes before I actually get to the gym. I need a little bit of time for it to like activate, for lack of a better word. And guys, I want to do a little introduction in the meantime because I'm gonna be at the gym soon and I haven't done the workout yet, but I can already guarantee that it's gonna be a good one. Like, I could feel it. You guys ever have that when you're at the gym? There's something about it, like you feel energy. You feel like, you know, not strength, but potential strength, you know, coming on when the time is right, when you need to activate it. I just feel like that. During the commentary, which we'll get into in a minute, I'm gonna explain one of the big reasons as to why that is, and kind of a trade-off, like a trade-off that you have to make. And I'm gonna talk about why I really feel strong, probably the strongest I've ever felt when it comes to a cut. Especially in my upper body, my strength is really sticking around, and in some cases, hopefully in this case, hopefully we'll see in about half an hour, it actually may be increasing. But you know what? You know, I'm not gonna talk. I'll show you. So I'll see you in the gym. Well, for me, it's gonna be in half an hour. For you guys, it's gonna be right now. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is VitruvianPhysique. Thank you for stopping by. Today we have two or three big topics I want to talk about in this workout commentary. I've been almost, it's been on my mind for a couple of days, and I thought, how am I going to work this into a video? Well, today I just want to spit it out when I want to talk about it because I do think that this is important. But in addition, this is a push workout. This is a pretty heavy push workout. We're going to have some shoulder work, some deltoid work that is, and some chest work, obviously. And this is the big compound lift of the day, the incline barbell bench press. Now, a little bit later in the video, we're actually gonna go for an all-time top set PR. For those of you guys that don't know, a top set PR pretty much means that instead of just going for a 1 rep max, we're going for training PR. So it's like, in my case, I'm doing, I believe this is 4 sets of 8, and I'm doing with a certain weight. By the way, what I'm doing here, this is not me just dancing around. This is actually one of the ways that I stretch, that I warm up. I take the barbell and I do 15 or 10 reps, and then I grip it as wide as possible. I lower it down to my chest, and I do a couple more of these like slow and somewhat bouncy reps, especially when my hands are fully wide. That's a really great way that I use to stretch my pectorals. And now I'm just gonna incrementally increase the weight. I go from just the bar to maybe like a plate on each side, a plate and a half, eventually getting up to my big working weight, which today is 97.5 kilograms or 215 pounds for 4 sets of 8, which I've never gotten before. So it's definitely a big deal. But the other thing I want to talk about, this is pretty important in my opinion. So pretty much in my life, there have been I've been training for like 11 years, but there have been 2 times in my life when I had it was something different. It's like everything is just 10 out of 10 in terms of my improvement, in terms of strength, in terms of muscle mass, in terms of my dedication. And then the rest of the time, it's been up and down. Sometimes it's not been that great. Sometimes it's been good. But there have only been 2 times in my life. The first time is when I first started training. And that makes sense because noob gains. You first enter into the gym, you're just kicking ass, right? It's awesome. No matter what you do, even if you train terrible, and even if you don't eat that well, it's almost hard not to put on muscle and strength when you originally start training because your body is so sensitive. And as you train for 3, 4, 5, in my case, over 10 years, over a decade, your body gets more and more desensitized to training stimulus, and it's harder for you to actually make those crazy gains that you once did in your first 6 months, 12 months. But you know what? I'm going to talk about that in a minute because right now we're going to go for my 4th set. And if I get this is a lifetime achievement. So I'll just let you guys go. Holy crap, because I don't think I've ever done my entire life 215 or 97.5 kilograms, whatever, for this many reps and sets. 215 for 4 sets of 8. Never done that before, so it's funny. I remember like a few weeks ago, I was going for a weight less than this for a top set PR, and I put on my Twitter. I was like, I need Twitter sphere. I need your energy, like Goku in the spirit bomb. So I'm gonna need something. I'm gonna need like that and more. I need like 105% of that. So.
fucked up filming that one. I can't. I ruined that. We didn't film that one properly. My heart. I'm about to pass out.
Okay, guys, awesome. 215 pounds for 4 sets of 8. That's the heaviest I've ever gone on the incline bench press, which is, you know, it kind of surprised me considering I'm on a calorie deficit and still able to do that. It feels fantastic. And there's a decent reason as to why that is, which I'll mention a little bit later in this video. I know I keep alluding to it, but, you know, there's another thing I want to mention first. But the second time in my life when, like, training was good and strength was good, but that's not the best part of it. The best part of it was just this focus, this razor sharp hawk-like focus. I knew exactly what I'm doing on every single day, what my targets are in terms of weight, reps, everything. And that was when I was in college, because that was the first time that I really started learning about all these things. In high school, I kind of screwed around, but VitruvianPhysique, from a scientific, nutritional, informational standpoint, what makes this channel, you know, hopefully good, or at least I hope it's good, that, you know, I started my channel when I was around 24, but it's when I was 20, 21, 22, when I was in college, and I was sitting there learning, you know, like digging on the web, looking at all these videos, learning about all these things, reading about this in my textbooks in university. That's when I combined all of this. I was training with a good purpose. Arnold Schwarzenegger has talked about in the past how a boat with a clear-cut goal has a much higher chance of making it to that goal or that destination than a boat that doesn't have a clear-cut goal. It'll be lucky if it even leaves the harbor. And my training has been good up until now. You know, these last 2 years I've been focusing on a lot of things in addition to training, such as YouTube, such as business, my job, all these things. But right now I'm excited because I guarantee that this is going to be the third time in my life. This is time for, you know, to make the trifecta, when focus is going to be razor sharp, everything is going to be perfect. I've been working on this program for a while. I'm not going to talk about it too much because this video can go on forever. I'm going to talk about it in my next video, but it's finally time to combine everything. And it's no longer just going to be like go into the gym, spend a week doing whatever the hell you want. You know, there's no clear-cut goal in terms of your volume, your strength progression, high rep days, low rep days, high intensity days, periodization, all those things. I used to be just going to the gym, just kind of, you know, doing workouts which make me feel good and are good for the camera. But now I'm so excited because, you know, I just sat down for like 3 or 4 weeks and I busted this baby out. It's this massive program, 37 pages. I can't wait to do 2 things. Number one, launch it on my website, probably next week. A lot of you guys have been asking me. I've been talking about this on Snapchat, dropping some hints. The answer is yes, it is coming out this upcoming week. Today's Saturday, so look for it sometime around Wednesday, Thursday at the latest. The other thing is I'm so excited to try this program myself. I would never release something on my website unless I, you know, would do it myself. And in this case, I am doing it myself and I can't wait to start. It's a 17-week-long training program with 3 mesocycles, which is just a fancy way of saying like training blocks. 17 microcycles, otherwise known as 17 weeks, deload weeks, AMRAP weeks. This thing is a monster and I'm really excited to try it. I'm really excited to release it and let you know. A lot of people ask me, they want like a good training program. Coaching is awesome, but not many people can afford $200, $300, $400. That's like a bit more of an advanced option, which is still fantastic, and I highly advocate that. But this is a great way to reach people, you know, who just, hey, I want a training program and I want something a little bit more comprehensive than the free crap I can find online, but I don't want to pay more than like 20 or 30 bucks or whatever. That is going to be an awesome option for them. But I'll talk a lot about that in upcoming videos. In the meantime, here's a nice, quick, easy example of a post-workout meal. Hey guys, so post-workout meal. Now, I was talking about this earlier. Jordan has to show off her new fancy outfit.
Check it. Check it. Okay.
Welcome to VitruvianPhysique fashion channel. So, 2 things I want to know. Number 1, damn is it late. It is 3 o'clock and this is my first meal of the day after waking up at like 8:30. So this is a big fast, but you know, I've been okay. One of the big things that I really advocate is when I start to get a little bit hungry, like around 12:01, that's when I want to A, do my workout, and B, take a pre-workout supplement. Like I said, caffeine, some kind of like big beverage. It'll kind of like set your mind focused on the workout, kind of quench your appetite a little bit, and also the best thing I could advocate when it comes to hunger is just don't do nothing. Don't sit here like 5 feet away from the fridge and be like, I'm not gonna eat. Go out, do something. So for me, the best thing is once I start to feel a little bit hungry, not starving, but a little bit hungry, but if I wanna push my fast back another 1, 2, potentially even 3 hours in this case, I just go to the gym because that way I'm focused on something else. Yeah, I'm a little bit hungry, but I don't have time to worry about that because I'm working out. Just get your mind off of it. The worst thing you can do is kind of just sit here and do nothing, like, and I'm gonna use my willpower not to eat. Bullshit, not gonna happen. Get your mind off it, go do anything else. It's like when you're going through a breakup and all your friends, the best thing they tell you is get your mind off it, go on a vacation, go start, get a new hobby, just do something. It's like that, except to a much lesser extent. So the next thing I want to talk about, in addition to the actual fast, is my meal is gonna be this nice high protein, a little bit of carbohydrates, and reasonably low fat option, but it's also something I want quick. I don't have time, I gotta go, I gotta get some work done. I wanna go put out a video, not this video, but another video which I filmed. So I need something quick. What I did today, it's actually 200 grams of chicken breast, and then what I did is I took it, I cooked it up, it's done. Then in the pan, while it's still hot, I actually threw a little bit of sauce. What I'm using today is this 25% less fat butter chicken sauce. So it's some carbs, very low fat. It's a great option. I always advocate, guys, like any relatively low fat sauce. So it could be soy sauce, or it could be teriyaki, which is kind of like more carbohydrate based, less fat, or something like this. Or even like, even if you take a fatty option, but you get one of like the light options, like, like there's light mayo, light butter chicken, light ranch, light Caesar, all of these things are always, there are always light options, which probably taste, they're not as good, but they're okay. And it's gonna help you a lot, because these high fat sauces, they could be like, depending on how much you do, 100, 150, 200 calories. And it's not like it's carbohydrates and protein. No, it's just fat. And it's from the worst source. It's not like fish or avocados or like, peanuts or something. It's just like trans fat, and there's just no point in that. I did that, and then also I got a small serving. This came in like a pre-packaged kind of thing. It was about 100 calories. It's a little bit of potatoes and then one serving of veggies. And the good thing about these kind of like pre-packaged things is portion control. You're not just like, keep going as you like dump it on your plate. No, it comes in a certain amount, and it says like per one of these little steam Ziploc bag thingies you can buy like in the frozen food section, it tells you like this is 150 calories. You want another one? Go ahead, but it's gonna be 300 calories. And this really helps you with portion control, because you tell yourself, I'm gonna have one, or two or three, or however many you want. It's not just like, you have to like eyeball it, and then you could be completely off, and then, I way too many carbohydrates. Makes the process a lot simpler. So I'm gonna have this, a lot of protein, a little bit of carb, very little fat, and then also because I'm such a clean breakfast, I'm probably gonna make myself a little bit of dessert. Now what I've been doing recently is I get like a waffle cone for like an ice cream. It's like 60 calories, it's like just over 10 carbs or something. It's not much at all. And then I get lemon sorbet. So I don't do ice cream, I do sorbet, because I just love that cold fruity stuff, especially in Australia. It's so hot. Definitely helps, quenches my thirst, quenches my sweet tooth, which is a big deal. And it's not that many calories at all. And I could get a treat. It's like 20, 25 grams of carbohydrates, and I don't have to feel guilty like, I just ate a chocolate bar. There goes 80 grams of carbs and 40 grams of fat and all that crap. So yeah, nice, quick, easy option, guys. You don't always have to eat the same old, just plain old chicken breast and rice, sprinkle it with some salt, and that's it. You can get a little bit creative. You can have a dessert. You can, use some fancy sauces, and yeah, quick and easy. Okay, guys, the last thing I want to talk before I close out this video, I've been kind of alluding to it this entire video, but I do, it's something which I do want to mention. The reason as to why I think I was actually able to hit that top set PR, and the reason why I think that in general this cut has been exponentially better on my ability to retain as much size, as much muscle mass, and as much strength specifically. Like size and muscle mass, like literally you're dealing with like 1 to 2 pound fluctuation, so it's very hard to visually see that. It's like, do I look bigger at this body weight that I did last year? It's kind of hard to know, but strength, that is obvious. A good example of this, guys, is last year, I remember, around 178 pounds body weight, so literally less, like 1 or 2 pounds less in body weight than I am currently at the moment. Similar definition, similar overall visual body composition. I was benching 225 for, I think I did like 4 reps. I remember because I went to the gym, it was like nighttime, and I was like, wow, this sucks. Like, it's what happened to me, right? I used to be, I remember I benched 315 touch and go for 4 reps, and I got down all the way to 225 flat press, touch and go 4 reps. And that was like, that's it. I needed like a friend to help me, and I was like, we're done here, right? It sucked, right? And I told myself that maybe this is just what comes with the territory. But this year I tried something a little bit different. I'm gonna throw some graphs up on the screen right now to illustrate this point a little bit more. The first is my weight and body fat percentage. This is a chart that I do for myself. This is a chart I do for all my clients. Essentially, the 2 most important things is, number 1, it tracks, like I said, your weight and your body fat percentage, the red and blue lines, and the dotted red and blue lines are the projections or the linear trajectories for, like I said, your weight and your body fat percentage. Essentially, where you've been and where you're going, assuming you stay at a relatively consistent. What you're doing right now, if you keep it up, this is where you're going to be in 1 week, 1 month, 10 years, whatever your projection may be. And as you can tell, the trajectory is downward, but there are a few fluctuations. There are things such as refeeds. There are the 10,000 calorie challenge is a good example of this. One of the reasons I did the 10,000 calorie challenge, in addition to obviously YouTube reasons, like, that video is at like 120,000 views in less than a week, which for my channel, that's a lot. So it's awesome. Definitely from a business standpoint, it's helpful in terms of views, in terms of exposure, in terms of social media, in terms of everything. But from a physique standpoint, obviously, it's not going to destroy my physique. In fact, you can tell here's clear-cut quantitative evidence that my physique has essentially in 2 weeks recovered, both from a weight and body fat percentage estimation standpoint. So anybody out there who still has any doubts as to whether or not my physique is destroyed or can I actually recover, yeah, I did. Here's the numbers. Here's my visual physique. If you need any more evidence than that, well, you're not going to get it because I can't provide that. This, and in general, my calories. I'm sitting around 2,200, 2,300, as opposed to last year around this time, I was already down to like 2,000, 2,100 at the most, sitting well under 200 grams of carbohydrates. So those 200 or 300 calorie, that difference may not seem like a lot, but for me, that can mean the difference between losing, 1 pound per week or 2 pounds per week. And this time around, I'm aiming a little bit more towards the 1 pound per week. There is this, I've talked about this in the past, there is an ideal range. It's in terms of body fat loss or body weight loss. It's 0.5 to 1.0% of your current body weight on a weekly basis. So for a 200-pound man, this would be anywhere from 1 to 2 pounds in body weight depletion on a weekly basis. For myself, weighing just under 180 pounds, this would be 0.9 to 1.8 pounds in body weight loss on a weekly basis. So me, here I'm going to throw another little numerical thing on the screen right now, me currently averaging just under 1 pound at 0.98 pounds per week in body weight loss on a weekly basis. I'm still within the target range. I'm on the lower end, but I'm still within the target range. And this is the trade-off that I talked about. This is the trade-off when it comes to dieting. You can diet quick. You can give yourself like a 600-700 calorie deficit. You can get shredded quickly in a matter of 12, 13, 14 weeks. And depending on how fat you were in terms of body fat percentage when you started, this can, in my case it's been difficult in the past. And all my lifts would take a hit, and I would definitely lose a fair bit of muscle in the process in addition to body fat. Unfortunately, it sucks, but it's unavoidable. When you're cutting, there's a good chance you're going to lose at least some muscle mass. How much? Well, you can mitigate that, and that's what I'm doing this time around. Because me taking my diet a little bit slower, me starting my diet a little bit earlier this year in January, as opposed to usually when I do mid to late March, me having a little bit more time, me setting a target date a little bit later, instead of I gotta diet down for the summer quickly, I'm gonna be definitely lean this whole year. I'm pretty lean now as it is. I'm around 12, 11, probably around 11 or 10% body fat as a visual estimation personally, which is relatively lean. But when the time comes to get down to 8, 7% body fat, I'll definitely be able to do that, which I'm anticipating is probably gonna be somewhere around August to September. And some people might be like, well, why don't you just get shredded now? And the answer is I don't need to get 7 or 8% body fat because it sucks. When you're at that body fat percentage, personally, I hate it. You feel like crap, your libido is gone. Yes, that does happen. Strength is gone, you don't feel that great. However, being at 10 or 11% body fat and slowly chiseling away, less than a pound per week, is a lot more sustainable for me. And as you can tell, guys, the proof is in the video. The fact that I was able to hit 215 for 4 sets of 8 successfully on the incline press, when around this size and this weight and this body fat percentage, this time last year, I did 225 for 4 on the flat press. So, completely different story when it comes to strength. And it's good because I'm starting to look a little bit better on a daily basis. Six-pack, striations, vascularity, that's all coming in slowly, but I'm retaining my strength, or at least as much as possible, especially in the upper body. That's one of the reasons why I'm taking it slower this year, guys. And that trade-off it's up to every individual, everyone out there. Do you want to lose weight quickly? If that's the case, great, and you can do it, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Maybe sometimes psychologically you'll be a little screwed, and expect slightly bigger decreases in things like muscle and strength. However, if you have the time, which I kind of thought ahead, and I definitely gave myself a little bit more time this year, it allows you to take it at a much more reasonable, much more sustainable, slower, psychologically easier pace, retain a little bit more muscle, and in my case, a lot more strength, and it feels good. And that's my strategy this year. And I know it might differ for some other people who like, I gotta get shredded quickly, and that's fine, but I've been shredded before, and I've done it quickly before. This year, I want to try something new, and so far, I'm enjoying it. It's making the process like, I'm not going to say it's like enjoyable. It's like, I love eating 2,300 calories and like 220, 230 grams of carbohydrates and midnight cardio. No, but I'm definitely not going crazy, which at times last year and the year before that, at times I did. So far, so good. Either way, guys, sorry for the ramble. I just wanted to explain that. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed that random Dragon Ball Z edit, which I don't know why I put in there, but yeah, I thought it was cool. And I'll check in with you guys next time.